Yo, we got the Log One books, man. I got all 5 Log One books, but we reading the first 2 sessions today. We only gonna be reading some of the questions because not all of them are really important to get the full grasp of what's going on. So we're not gonna read all of them. But yeah, if y'all don't know what the Law of One book, what the Law of One is, I have a few videos already out, or one video already out, basically explaining it and going in detail. I read a little bit of like a section, not a section, a session from the introduction, and I gave y'all a little bit more background details on some of the stuff that they're going to explain deeper into the book. So today, let's start reading. You feel me? We're starting off with session 1 from January 15th, 1981. Ra, I am Ra. I have not spoken through this instrument before. We had to wait until she was perfectly tuned as we send a narrow band vibration. We greet you in the love and the light of the infinite creator. We have washed your group. We have been called to your group, for you have a need for diversity of experiences and channeling. Let's go with the more intensive, as you might call it, or advanced approach to the system of studying the pattern of illusions of your body, your mind, your spirit, what you call seeking the truth. We hope to offer you somewhat different slant upon the information which is always ever the same. At this time, we will be glad to attempt to speak to any subject or question which those entities in the room may have the potential to use in requesting. My bad. He speaks very professional, and I'm not a professional dude, as you can see. My bad. But questioner, do you have a specific purpose? And if so, can you tell us more about what this purpose is? Ra, I am Ra. We communicate now. We are those who are of the Law of One. In our vibration, the polarities are harmonized, the complexities are simplified, the paradoxes have a solution. We are one. That is our nature and our purpose. We are old upon your planet and have served with the varying degrees of success in transmitting the Law of One, of unity, of singleness to your peoples. We have walked your planet. We have seen your faces. We have seen the faces of your people. However, now we feel the great responsibility of staying in capacity of removing the distortions and powers that have been given to your people, given to the Law of One. We will continue in this until, shall we say, your cycle is appropriately ended. If not this one, then the next. We are not a part of time, and thus we will be with you in any of your times. Does this give you enough information from which to extract our purpose, my brother? My brother. Yes, thank you. Questioner, yes, thank you. Ra, I am Ra. We appreciate your vibrations. Is there another query? Questioner, I have heard the name Ra in connection with the Egyptians. Are you connected with that Ra in any way? Ra, I am Ra. Yes, this connection is congruency. May we elucidate? What do you not understand? Questioner, could you give a little more detail about your role with the Egyptians? Ra, I am Ra. The identity of the vibration Ra is our identity. We as a group are what you would call a social memory complex. We made contact with the rest of your planetary kind, which you would call the Egyptians. Others from our density made contact at the same time in South America. Right here, I believe he was talking about Thoth in the Mesoamerican pyramids and the so-called lost pyramids. In the so-called lost cities, were their attempts to contribute to the Law of One. We spoke to the one who heard and understood and was in a position to decree the Law of One. However, the priests and people of that era quickly distorted the message, robbing it of all the, shall we say, compassion, with which unity is informed by its very nature. Since it contains all, it could not abhor any. When we were no longer able to appreciate channels through which to enunciate the law of one, we removed ourselves from the now hypocritical position from which we had allowed ourselves to be placed in. And other myths, shall we say, having a more to do with polarity and the things of your vibration that are complex again took over in that particular society complex. Does this form a sufficient amount of information, or should we speak further? Is there another query? Questioner. This question was lost because the questioner was sitting too far from the tape recorder to be recorded. Ra, I am Ra. Consider, if you will, that the universe is infinite. This has yet to be proven or disproven, but we can assure you that there is no end to yourselves, your understanding, and what you would call your journey of seeking, of your perceptions of the creation. That which is infinite cannot be many, for manyness is the finite concept. To have infinity, you must identify or define the infinity as unity. Otherwise, the term does not have any referent or meaning. In an infinite creator, there is only unity. You have seen examples of unity. You have seen the prism, which shows all colors stemming from the sunlight. This is a simplistic example of unity. In truth, there is no right or wrong. There is no polarity, for all will be, as you would say, reconciled at some point in your dance through the various ways at this time. This distortion is not in any case necessary. It is chosen by each of you as an alternative to understanding the complete unity of thought which binds all things. You are not speaking of similar, somewhat like entities or things. You are everything, every being, every emotion, every event, every situation. You are unity. You are the infinity. You are love/light. You are light, love. You are. This is the law of one. May we enunciate in more detail? Questioner. No. Ra. I am Ra. Is there another query at this time? Questioner. Can you comment on the coming planetary changes in our physical reality? Ra. I am Ra. I prefer to wait until this instrument had again reached the proper state of depth and singleness, or one-pointedness, before we spoke. The changes are very trivial. We do not concern ourselves with the conditions and what they bring about during the harvest. Oh. Questioner. If an individual makes an effort to act as a catalyst in general to increase the awareness of planetary consciousness, is he of any aid in that direction, or is he doing nothing but acting upon himself? Ra, I am Ra. We shall answer your question in two parts, both of which are important equally. Firstly, you must understand that the distinction between yourself is not visible to us. We do not consider that a separation exists between the consciousness-raising efforts of the distortion which you would project as a personality and the distortion which you would project as another personality. Thus, to learn is the same as to teach, unless you are not teaching what you are learning. In which case you have done you/them little good. This understanding should be pondered by your mind/body/spirit complex as a distortion which plays a part in your experiences at this nexus. To turn to the second part of our response, may we state our understanding, limited though it is. Group individuated consciousness is the same state of understanding with the other distortions of mind-body-spirit complexes, which are within the evident reach of the mind-body-spirit complex or individual group. Thus, we are speaking to you and accepting both our distortions and your own in order to enunciate the laws of creation, more especially the law of one. We are not available to many of your people, for this is not an easily understood way of communication or type of philosophy. However, our very being is hopefully poignant example of both the necessity and the near hopelessness of attempting to teach. Each of those in this group is striving to use, digest, and diversify the information which we are sending to this instrument into the channels of the mind-body-spirit complex without distortion. The few of whom the few whom you will illuminate by sharing your light are more than enough reason for the greatest possible effort. To me, to serve one is to serve all. Therefore, we offer the question back to you to state that, indeed, it is only the activity worth doing. To learn/teach or teach/learn, there is nothing else which is an aid of demonstrating the original thought except your very being. And the distortions that come from the unexplained, inarticulate, or mystery-clad being are many. Thus, to attempt to discern and weave your way through as many mind, body, spirit distortions as possible among your peoples in the course of your teaching is a very good effort to make. We can speak no more valiantly of your desire to serve. May we speak in any other capacity upon the subject. Well, I cannot breathe. Let me drink some water. Jesus. Okay. Questioner, will you be available for communication? Can we call on you in the future? Ra, I am Ra. We have good contact with this instrument because of her recent experiences with trance. She is able to communicate with our thoughts in your future. However, we advise care in disturbing the channel for